law. A revelation just to cover up your basic human flaw. You took his wife, you wiped his name, you left the boy a ghost just to feed the ego of the sterile Medina pose. Bred by the slaves in the shadow of the heat, looking for the strength that you couldn't keep sweet. You sought out the Alzut, the laborers of old, for the virility and fertility that the travelers told. The custom of the weak, seeking power from the strong, trying to fix a bloodline that was broken all along. You took the virility of men to make your own work, but the sterility of the prophet was a biological quirk. Still no sun, still no air, it's just a desert full of doubt. The Alzut couldn't help you find a way out. You tried to manufacture what you couldn't produce, but the 47's cable just cut the power loose. The cranes are falling, the satanic verse is loud. The 47's fire is the Ayatollah's shroud. The 47 thunder just leveled the Baghdad gate. The Ayatollah siege just met a kinetic fate. Statistically impossible, the noise inside the wire. The prophet and his sons are fuel for the fire. From the sterile desert sand to the green zone floor, the lineage of the mullah isn't breathing anymore. Oh, look at you, your kids are gone, the boat is getting hot. Just like your prophet, you're the end of the plot. Marry your cousin, this kid the IQ in the mud, but you can't survive the 47's flood. Sterile logic, sterile blood, a 1-400-year drought. The 47's hammer is what submission is about. Baghdad day, the Ayatollah siege just met a kinetic fate. The criterion is broken, the ear is finally deaf. The ledger of the high has is marked with an F. February 28th, the fire was sweet. The erasure of the mullah is finally complete. No suns in Medina, no suns in the gate. The 47 is the hand of fate.
He sat beneath a day palm and he wove a tangled net, a trap of blood and kin that hasn't finished closing yet. Marry your cousin, keep the wealth within the tent, a tribal cage where every drop of loyalty is spent. Muhammad led the way, tied the knot of blood and bone, to keep the power local and to keep the truth unknown. Keep the goats, keep the gold, keep the daughter in the line, a low trust civilization by a perfect man's design.
14 centuries of breeding in a tight and narrow well, creating a reality that science has to tell. 50% in the village, 60 in the sand, the double recessive shadow moving across the land. The IQ markers falling as the kinship rates arise, a foggy mental landscape under heavy desert skies. When the mind is bound by cousins and the spirit's in a haze, you're trapped inside the circle of the 7th century maze.
Across the sea, claim a new citizenship, but bring the old decree. Ruin the host, drain the well, keep the tribal wall, watching from the inside as the modern towers fall.
It's the 1-400-year mistake, the debt you can't repay. The 47 thunder is blowing the dust away. No more Takia for the blood, no more the tribal greed.
Oh, she's such a lovely bride. She's my sister's only kid. And think of all the goats we'll save, just like the prophet did. Don't worry about the heart defects, don't worry about the brain, as long as all the property stays within the family chain. Is the last thing you'll know.
That's gonna give it to ya! Zut's gonna give it to you. Not waiting for you to get it hard on your own. Just delivered to your home. Knock, knock, open up your ass. It's real. Came through swinging with a boner of steel. Go hard, getting busy with it. Got a penis so hard that we made Mo wonder how we did it. Damn right, and we'll do it again. Cause we all gay right, so we gotta win. Getting hard with the enemy. What? But no matter how many asses we bust, we'll break who you're sending us. Stupid, I was never wanting nothing but your ass gate sucker. And that's on a light day. Give up getting down, down like a pig said freeze. But we won't be the one ending up on our knees. Mo, please, when your hairy butt cheeks clapping in the breeze. First we gonna rock, then we gonna roll. Slap your butt like we did most. That's gonna give it to you. We gonna give it to you. First we gonna rock, then we gonna roll. Slap your butt like we did most. That's gonna give it to you. We gonna give it to you. First we break it down, then we steal the show. Had Muhammad begging please like no, no, no. Zut's gonna give it to you. We gonna give it to you. We gonna give it to you. Zut's gonna give it to you. We gonna give it to you. Muhammad crossed that line. Muhammad crossed that line. Muhammad crossed that line. There once was a group of owls who were naked and black as your boot. They rode Mo like a boon. They even split his full moon. Next morning Mo said I'm kaput. is a mile wide, so the coward looks for a place to hide. He can't reach the west, he can't reach the shore, so he bleeds the nations right next door. 7 flags burning in a desperate rage, the final act on a bloody stage. He's striking at brothers to prove he's a man, before the 47th clears the sand.
He tells the soldier, don't fear the lead. There's a garden waiting for the holy dead. But he doesn't promise a warm and grown. He promises a seed that's barely sown.
He quotes the tidings of the 78th verse, a theological bribe, a spiritual curse. Chasing the kawaii be the budding prize, with the hunger of a monster in his eyes. Don't call them companions, don't hide the age. Read the literal ink on the classical page. It's not full-breasted, that's a velvet lie, to hide the horror from a Western eye. You slaughtered the neighbors for a budding dream, but the 47th thunder heard the scream. No more kawaii beam, no more 10-year-old toys, just the end of the mullahs and their holy boys. The 7 Nations strike was your final breath. Now you're face to face with the kinetic death. Operation Epic Fury, the hammer of lead for the child thief
And the lies he spread.
Plural of Kaib, the protrusion of youth. The budding breast is the ugly truth. 10, 11, or 12 years old, a paradise of children, or so you're told. You envied the 47th, his life and his name, but you're just a predator in a religious game.
Answering your martyrs with the blinding light.
Please be upon me, is on the run again, swapping out the almighty for a stone cold spin. He's dusting off a ball, the idol in the hall. A false prophet's logic, one God fits all, but the math doesn't track and the history is thin when your Allah is just you but with the brand new skin. 6 centuries late, he copied the Hebrew line, facing Jerusalem, claiming the same design. But the Jews saw the crackpot, laughed at the mimicry, mocking the prophet and his borrowed ministry. In a fit of rage, he turned his back on the rock, retaliation for the tribes who dared to mock. He pivoted the prayer to Mecca stone square, back to Hubal's house as if God were there. A fool in disguise, leading astray. His lies and deceit will never stay. Hope, the false prophet of our time, Lord of the flies, feeding on the refuse and the grime. His words are poison, his teachings a crime, but we won't be swayed by his deceptive rhyme, for the truth of Jesus will forever shine. He preaches of darkness in a pagan parade, dressing up the idols in a new masquerade. He kept the black stone in the 7th circuit spin, old desert magic rebranded as sin. From the daughters of Allah to the crescent moon's glow, it's just ancient heathens running the show. His followers dwindling as his facade cracks, exposed as a fraud, there's no turning back. Look up at the minaret, what do you see? The crescent of the moon got the pagan pedigree. He tried to cut a deal with the 3 sublime cranes, worshipping the daughters to ease his own pains. But he called it a slip when the pressure got high, just another layer of the prophet's big lie. From the moon on the roof to the stone on the floor, it's the same old Hubo knocking at the door. Oh no, it's more, the false prophet of our time, Lord of the flies, feeding on the refuse and the grime. His words are poison, his teachings a crime, but we won't be swayed by his deceptive rhyme, for the truth of Jesus will forever shine. The false prophet of our time, the false prophet of our time, Lord of the flies, feeding on the refuse and the grime. His words are poison, his teachings a crime, but we won't be swayed by his deceptive rhyme, for the truth of Jesus will forever shine. They say the coup runs straight from above, every word from the mouth of God's love. But then it tells me the gospel is light, and to judge by what's in it, that's right. So I open it up and read what it says. Jesus died and he rose from the dead. Your book says no, he never died. So which one's true? Somebody lied. Surah 5 says to follow the word given to Christians straight from the Lord. Surah 10 says if you're unsure, ask the people who knew. broken? Why call it a light, then claim it was stolen? You can't play both sides with one story. Your claim crashes down in all its glory. And our scriptures, older than yours, written down long before Muhammad's tour. So tell me, friend, what do you choose? If you pick both, then both you lose. If the gospel is true, the Quran is wrong. If it's false, then why does it play along? And if God's word can never be changed, who corrupted it and who wore it? Can't hold a sword and preach about peace, can't affirm the word then call it deceased. The house won't stand if the walls are flawed. Truth is one, it doesn't twist. This is the paradox.
You cannot look me in the eye through the 7th century mist. You're holding an earthy book with the logic killing twist. You told the world the gospel was the light and the true path, and you brought a different story and you bought the desert wrath. If the gospel is the word, then your revelation fails. It's a ship with no rudder in the dive and broken sails. You're the ear that heard too much but understood too little, leaving your own perfect verse brittle in the middle. How can you confirm a book that calls your prophecy a crime? You're a criterion that's failing for the very first time. You said Allah preserves the word that no man can change the ink. Then you said the gospel's altered just to get this ship from sea. If it's altered, then the lies we can couldn't keep the light. If it's not, then you're a liar in the middle of the night. It's a chick made in the desert, it's a self-inflicted star. You're just a man with 8 euros, you're reaching for a star. You bow to the cranes, you bow to the stone, because you could have stand to face the Mac and son alone. The daughters you embraced before the satanic flirts was conveniently erased. 47 Thunder just leveled the Baghdad gate. The Ayatollah's crying, but it's 20 years too late. Statistically impossible, the noise inside the wire. The axis of resistance is a funeral pyre. From Babylon to night of other signals coming through. The 47's hammer brought the end and just was messenger with your cousins in a row, building a low trust empire where the minds can never grow. Marrying the child, marrying the kid, while the everyday you is drowning in the sin. Goats for a right price, 1 for 100 years of fog, while your older man's best friend is Satan in the dark. The dilemma is you, the dilemma is deep, and the 47 is waking up your seat. The black bag gate. The higher told us crying, but it's 20 years too late. The criteria is broken, the ear is finally deaf. But Ledger wrote the highs as is marked with a F. February 28th, the fire was sweet. The dismantling of the moolah is finally complete. You affirm the truth, improve yourself alive. The 47 on the Iraqi sky.
Allah is the greatest of deceivers. Muhammad is the perfect example. Dawah is the art of the lie. All it starts now.
Sauda went out to the open field, answered the call where the secrets are sealed. Umar was lurking, watching the gate. I recognized you, Sauda. He couldn't wait. He wanted the curtain, he wanted the veil, so he creeped in the shadows to finish the tale. He told the prophet, make him cover their face, and Allah sent a verse to say Umar's grace.
The Quran loop is a self-made cage. Weapon is the data on the perfect page. If the book is true, then the book is a lie. A sujood surrender as the facts go by. It's a circular snap, a theological trap. The Quran audit is a total collapse.
Surah 41 says the earth came first, 2 days for the dirt, then the heavens burst. But 79 says the sky was the lead, after that he spread the earth, that's what you read.
Which one is it? Which way does it flow? The clear book doesn't seem to know.
Every excuse you give just adds a new contradiction. The Ummi prophet can't read the line, claiming the Injil is a mirror divine, but he denies the cross, denies the spear. The swoon is a lie to cover the fear. The angel says finish, the Quran says look like a 600-year lag on a theological strike. You can't confirm what you're trying to erase. The gospel is the audit that spits in your face. The messenger waits for a celestial sign, while Calbi walks and looking mighty fine. It's Gabriel's space, it can be in disguise for the biological stain that the rag never lies. Small hands at the base and scrubbing the grace. A child cleaning tracks of a human embrace. If the angel is spirit, why is there a crust? Scouring the evidence of a prophet's lust. Zero single on the minaret. You're a blind face in the carpet while the Zut takes that ass. You hijacked the Torah, stole the Hebrew king's bed. Now the ghosts of Medina are inside your head. If Abraham was a Muslim, that's a desperate reach. Like claiming the ocean was birthed by the beach. Logic is the friction, and you're starting to burn. Before the one, there was the moon and the stone. 360 around the throne. Praise about the Hubal, the Lord of the rain. The messenger took the idol and changed the name. From Baal to Allah, the lineage is clear. The same black stone, the same tribal fear.
He waits at the door when the world turns cold. A heart of pure silver, a spirit of gold. He doesn't ask for a crown or a throne. He just wants the walk and the scent of a bone. In the parks of the city, from Queens to the Bay, the four-legged brothers are leading way. A wag of the tail for a child in the sun, man's best friend since the world was begun. But a whisper is rising in the NYC streets of unclean companions and haram retreats. They say that the angels won't enter the door if a paw print is found on the rug or the floor. They want them banned, they want them cast out, to bring in a law that we're better without. A sharia for puppies, a decree of the dark to silence the joy in the heart of the poor. while the dog guards the cradle and keeps it divine. Let's talk of the revelations and flippant lies, while the dog looks at you with his honest eyes. He marched to the war with a sword in his hand, spilling the blood on the heat of the sand. But a Jewish woman saw the monster's face and left a gift of poison in a hollow place. I feel my aorta being cut, he cried, as the venom of Kaibar burned deep inside. The woman of Zion gave the lamb to the king to see if a prophet could feel the sting. He died in a fever, a miserable land, while the dog stayed loyal, a man's only friend. Against the dark history of the Kaibar night. The prophet is poison. The dog is the truth. God bless the puppies and the innocence of youth.
The lamb is served. The poison is set. The audit of the unkillable starts now. He took the city, he killed the kin, then sat at the table to wash away the sin. Xana brought the shoulder, cooked in the hate, a forensic delivery on a silver plate. If he's a prophet, he'll know the sting. If he's a king, then death is the thing. He took a bite, he felt the vein tear. The protected man found the poison was there. 3 years of rot, the aorta is cut, while the ghosts of Kaibar keep the door shut. He cries to Waisha, it's coming for me. The lamb in the belly has the final decree. No angel intervened, no miracle came, just a toxic end to a violent game. The messenger dies by a woman's hand, the ultimate audit of the promised land.
Aorta, severed signal, lost, sutted by the lamb. In the bunker's damp, where the shadows play, the Supreme One signs his soul away. He fears the virgin, he fears her light. So he sends the husband in the dead of night. A box of sweets for a mother's grief, the signature of a holy thief. He calls her whore to hide his fear, but the end of the line is drawing near. I hear the steel in the winter sky. I don't look down, I look up high. Beyond the bars and the cleric's lies, a different fire begins to rise. They told me God had turned his face, that I was lost in this hollow place. But the thunder speaks a different tongue, a song of justice for the young.
The 47th watches from across the sea. He heard the prayers of the Sans and the G. The red lines crossed, the dice are cast. The age of the mullahs is breathing its last.
The 47th thunder hit the terror night, answering the prayers with a blinding light.
No more marriage, no more chains. The fire falls to wash the stains. The compound crumbles, the tyrant is gone. Cinema again to a bloody dawn. From the streets of Iceland to the White House door, the monster of terror won't speak no more.
Ali offered rape and a shroud of black. Trump offered fire and the country back. One used a loophole to steal her soul, the other used a hammer to take control. February 28th, the ledger is clear. The end of the trauma, the end of the fear.
The 47th thunder hit the terror night, answering the prayers with a blinding light.
The compound is ashes, the ghost is at rest. The eagle has spoken from the heart of the west. The whores are now queens, the marriage is dead. The crown of the mullahs is broken and laid.
The sweets are bitter. The fire was sweet. The 47th made the victory complete.
Yo, Muhammad, look me in the eye through the 7th century mist. You're holding a perfect book with a logic-killing twist. You told the world the gospel was the light and the true path. Then you brought a different story and you brought the desert wrath. If the gospel is the word, then your revelation fails. It's a ship with no rudder and 1,000 broken sails. You're the ear that heard too much but understood too little, leaving your own perfect verse brittle in the middle.
How can you confirm a book that calls your prophecy a crime? You're a Christian that's failing for the very first time. You said Allah preserves the word, that no man can change the ink. Then you said the gospel's altered just to keep your ship from sinking. If it's altered, then Allah is weak and couldn't keep the light. If it's not, then you're a liar in the middle of the night. It's a checkmate in the desert, it's a self-inflicted scar. You're just a man with pagan roots reaching for a star. You bow to the cranes, you bow to the stone, because you couldn't stand the face of Megan's on alone. Allah and Dalus are the daughters you embraced before the satanic verse was conveniently erased. The 47th thunder just leveled the Baghdad gate. The Ayatollah's crying, but it's 20 years too late. Statistically impossible, the noise inside the wire. The axis of resistance is a funeral pyre. From Babylon to Nineveh, the signal's coming through. The 47th hammer brought the ending just for you.
Messenger with your cousins in a row, building a low trust empire where the minds can never grow. Marrying the child, marrying the kin, while the average IQ is drowning in the sin. Goes for a bride price, 1/400 years of fog, while you call the man's best friend a shaitan and a dog. The dilemma is you,
The dilemma is deep, and the 47th is waking up your sheep. Is marked with a F, February 28th. The fire was sweet, the dismantling of the mullah is finally complete. You have found the truth and prove yourself a lie. The 47 owns the Iraqi sky.